The desert doesn't shout its warnings, it whispers them. And sometimes, we don't hear until it's too late. In the vast and unforgiving landscape of Death Valley National Park, three women, a mother, her daughter, and the daughter's close friend, set out on what was meant to be a shore adventure. But nature had other plans. Beneath the endless blue sky, and across the cracked salt flats and sun-scorched canyons, they would soon find themselves lost in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Death Valley is a place of extremes. It holds the record for the hottest air temperature ever recorded on the planet, a blistering 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Summer temperatures often soar well past 120. Rain is rare. Cell service is spotty. And once the sun dips behind the jagged peaks off the Panamint Range, the desert becomes a maze of shadows. This is not just a story about getting lost. It's a story about how the beauty of nature can disguise its danger. About how quickly a wrong turn or a moment of overconfidence can unravel into a desperate fight for survival. Welcome to Risky Reality, where risks become reality. Before I start the video, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. For now, let's jump into this story. Death Valley is a place where the Earth feels close to the sun. Situated in eastern California, it is one of the hottest and driest places on the planet. Its shimmering salt flats stretch endlessly under a sky that rarely offers shade. The landscape is both haunting and majestic, sculpted canyons, rugged mountains, and sand dunes shaped by wind and time. But this beauty comes with danger. Temperatures in July regularly exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and cell service is patchy at best. It is not a place to underestimate. In July 2010, Donna Cooper, her teenage daughter Gina, and Gina's close friend Jenny Leung set off for a simple day trip that was supposed to be easy and enjoyable. They had packed their car with snacks, water, and enough supplies for the day. Their goal was to visit Scotty's Castle, a historic mansion tucked into the northern reaches of Death Valley National Park. With the help of their trusted GPS, a device they fondly nicknamed Nell, they reached the site without issue. They spent several hours exploring the castle, taking in the architecture and the oddity of a lavish home nestled in one of the most barren places in the United States. As the sun began its slow descent, they got back into their Hyundai and set their course for home. That's when things started to go terribly wrong. As they were leaving the castle, one of them suggested taking a detour to visit a mysterious sign known as the racetrack, a dry lakebed famous for its sailing stones that seemed to move on their own. Eager for one last adventure, Donna Cooper turned off the paved highway and onto a dirt road, relying once again on Nell to guide them. They drove about 10 miles through the rough terrain, but never found the racetrack. The path became more uncertain with each passing mile, and the landscape around them grew increasingly remote. Realizing they were deeper into the desert than planned, Donna decided to turn back and find the highway. But the desert has a way of playing tricks on your sense of direction. At an unmarked intersection of dusty, winding roads, Donna picked what she believed was the correct route. 10 miles later, it became clear she had made a wrong turn. In the stifling heat, which now hovered around 121 degrees, Donna restarted the GPS, hoping Nell could bring them home. But the device only pushed them farther into the desert's emptiness, leading them along dirt paths that turned into trails barely fit for a vehicle. After nearly 100 miles of confusion, the Hyundai rolled to a stop. They were out of gas. And worse still, their phones no longer had service. As night fell across Death Valley, the three women huddled in their car, surrounded by the deafening silence of the desert. The temperature dropped quickly, and the isolation sank in. There were no lights. No signs of human life. Just the dark shapes of mountains and the vast, unforgiving plain. The next morning, with the scorching sun already climbing, Gina urged her mother to try starting the car one more time. Donna whispered a prayer, turned the key, and to their amazement, the engine sputtered and came back to life. They drove a short distance before spotting a patch of green on the horizon, a rare sight in the desert. Desperate for water, they left the car and hiked 2 miles toward it. What they found wasn't salvation, but a cluster of long-abandoned trailers, some bleached and forgotten. There was no one there. But outside one of the trailers, they found a hose. Water, though murky and warm, trickled out. They drank it, not knowing when they might have another chance. As the second night descended, the reality of their situation began to sink in. They were alone, lost in a deadly environment, and no one knew where they were. But back home, their family had already sounded the alarm. Search and rescue teams were being mobilized. Help was coming, but the desert still had one more day to test them. By the morning of their third day in Death Valley, Donna Cooper, her daughter Gina, and Gina's friend Jenny were exhausted, dehydrated, and emotionally drained. They had spent 2 nights in the punishing wilderness, surviving on dwindling supplies, dirty well water, and hope. The heat was relentless, and they were beginning to understand how truly dangerous the desert could be. During the second night, doubt had crept in. Donna worried no one would ever find them. The endless landscape seemed designed to erase people, no signs, no trails, and no sounds but the occasional gust of hot wind. They had no fuel, no working GPS, and no idea if help was even on the way. But unbeknownst to them, their family had already called authorities. The California Highway Patrol had launched a search effort, deploying a helicopter crew to scan the vast terrain. Pilots Tyler Johns and Scott Steele had spent hours combing the rugged backcountry, with temperatures pushing the limits for both man and machine. The pilots were nearing the end of their shift. Fuel was running low. They had covered dozens off miles with no luck, their search grid extending deeper into the remote corners of the park. It was nearly time to turn back when they decided to make one final pass, a sweep over the Saline Valley, one of the most remote areas in the region. From above, it looked like nothing. Just more rocks, brush, and dirt roads fading into the mountains. But then, in the distance, they spotted something that didn't belong, a small vehicle coated in a layer of dust. And near it, a sudden flash of movement. It was Gina, waving a yellow blanket frantically in the air, trying to catch their attention. The pilots circled down and made visual contact. Relief washed over the women as the helicopter descended. Rescue had come at the last possible moment. The crew provided the women with water and radioed for additional support. Soon, they were on their way out of the desert, shaken but safe. Back home, Donna Cooper would later say she had retired their GPS device, now for good. The tool they had once trusted had led them into a situation where survival was not guaranteed, and they weren't alone. Others had fallen victim to similar fates. In the months surrounding their ordeal, stories surfaced of travelers blindly following GPS directions into dangerous, isolated areas. A teenager in New Jersey had caused a multi-car collision after making an illegal turn prompted by his GPS. A couple visiting Italy ended up 400 miles off course after confusing Capri, a coastal island, with Carpi, a landlocked industrial town. While GPS technology has revolutionized the way we navigate, it has also created a false sense of infallibility. In wilderness areas like Death Valley, where roads are sparse and poorly marked, relying solely on digital directions can be deadly. Donna, Gina, and Jenny were lucky. Many others are not. Their story is a reminder that nature still holds power over us, and that sometimes, the best way to find our way out is to know when to turn back. Death Valley is a place of raw beauty, but it's also a place that demands respect. Donna, Gina, and Jenny's story is a powerful reminder that even a simple day trip can turn dangerous when technology fails and nature takes control. If you found this story interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss our next true survival story. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.